Hello everyone, it's me, Julian Greystoke. We're back with another book review. The book we're looking at today is called Winter Witch, and I read it quite a while ago as well, so we're going to read the synopsis off of Goodreads. But I do have some memories of it, so that's a good sign. In her small, early 19th century Welsh town, there is no one quite like Morgana, who has not spoken since she was a young girl. Her silence is a mystery as well as her magic. Concerned for her safety, her mother is anxious to see her married, and Kai Jenkins, a widower from the far hills, seems the best choice. After her wedding, Morgana is heartbroken to leave her mother and wary of this man, whom she does not know, and who will take her away to begin a new life. But she soon falls in love with Kai's farm and the wild mountains that surround it. Kai works to understand the beautiful half-tamed creature he has chosen as his bride, and slowly he begins to win Morgana's affections. It's not long, however, before her strangeness begins to be remarked upon in her new village. A dark force is at work there, a person who will stop at nothing to turn the townspeople against Morgana. Forced to defend her home, her man, and herself, Morgana must learn to harness her power or she will lose everything. Hey guys, this is the world's fastest reminder that you can support me on Patreon and see all kinds of exclusive videos like these ones. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. So you can kind of tell that this is primarily a romance book, and I'm not as into those, but I did want to give this one a chance because there were elements of it that very much enticed me, including the Welsh setting, because I am quite into Wales. We went there on our honeymoon and I loved it, and I would move to Wales in a heartbeat if given the chance. So there were definitely things about this book to recommend it to me, but also lots of things that didn't. Let's just get into this. The love interest, Kai. Let's just talk about him right away. I liked that he was a soft boy, TM. I know that the alpha male is really popular in romance, and I am far more there for the gentle guy, the sweet guy. He's not weak, but he is good and kind and caring and doesn't try to win her over through abuse. I just wish that he had been given a stronger personality. He likes animals. That's pretty much it. He's nice. He's nice and he likes animals. As you guys know, I am into the idea of a girl in an arranged marriage who has to fall in love with the man that she gets married to. You don't often see that. Far more often it's arranged marriage and then the girl falls in love with somebody else, say the handsome stable hand or the guard or something like that, so it's more forbidden. I really enjoy that she has to marry this guy and then fall in love with him. While I will say that the romance itself moves realistically, it's nice and slow, it's nice and building, it's not love at first sight or any of that stuff. It would have been way better if the characters were deeper. I think where this book really falls apart is that the characters are fairly shallow. Even our lead, nobody is very deep, and that makes me sad. The villain is also a weak link in this story. She's just kind of the bitchy girl. She's the pretty girl. She's the one who wants everyone to like her. And she doesn't even sort of come up until about the middle of the book, and really, she's not that threatening of a villain. She does get more threatening as it goes on, but like, again, it's a trope that I don't love, that like our main character, who is not like other girls, has to fight the prettiest girl in the village. There's also a switch when we switch POVs between our lead characters. We also have a switch between first and third person, and not only am I not a big fan of the fact that pretty much every romance book switches between the guy and the girl, but I also am not a fan of when they do it and also have a switch from third person to first person or whatever. It makes the reading experience choppy to me. Maybe you like that, but doesn't do it for me. Also, this book might be an example of maybe too much showing. I say every tiny detail is described. Like, rather than her just breaking up the ice in the animal's water, we have to watch every motion she makes. That can get old after a while. I was definitely listening to this book on like a higher speed, because it just, everything was described. If you are a fan of that, like if you are a fan of deep description of just everyday living, then maybe you'll like this one. But I will say that because of this, this book felt overly long, maybe too drawn out, with a lot of wasted words. You still could have had the slow build romance without having to describe exactly how the character breaks up the ice on the animal's water. That's just an example. Pretty much everything she does, from kneading bread to sweeping the floor, is described in that way. The main character character felt a little bit too perfect for me, even though she's supposed to be the quirky, not like other girls one. Obviously, she's the one that we're meant to relate to. And while I am intrigued by her mutism, she was just a little bit too perfect, and everything that she tried was solved a little bit too quickly. She only makes a few mistakes, and then they are fairly easily resolved, so I'm not a huge fan of how perfect she felt, or that it never felt like she was in any real danger. Other characters may be in danger, but never her. I was kind of annoyed with the fact that our main character is mute. Okay, cool, that's interesting. But she learned how to read. Okay, she likes reading. That's a very common thing that authors use to make us relate to their characters, but she can't write? Why? Why can't she write? She just never learned to write. She learned to read quite well, never bothered to learn to write. It's so that she can't communicate, obviously, because you don't want her to be able to too easily communicate. But it was so frustrating and felt so contrived that she's like this avid reader, but she cannot write. I did really love the setting. It was, as I said, set in Wales, and it was beautiful. And obviously this author likes to describe things, so you know things were well described. Also, the person who was reading this book, because again I was listening on audio, did a really great job with the accents, so I do recommend the audiobook of this. I also really love the animal stuff. This author knew what they were talking about with animals. There's dogs, there's horses, all of it is really good and in-depth. Again, if you're not into that in-depth stuff, maybe give it a pass, but when they were being in-depth about the animals, I was quite enjoying myself. And I did like that they didn't use very much of the whole confusion, that whole misunderstanding trope. They didn't really use it. The romantic interest as part of his character as just a very nice man, believed her when she was able to communicate things to him. And again, I appreciated that, because you get so tired of conflict always coming out of the fact that, like, people just don't listen to each other, which is hilarious because she can't talk. But when he finally understands her, he believes her, he supports her, and I'm there for that kind of relationship. Some people might find that boring, but I found it really sweet and endearing, and it was great, again, to have a love interest who was just a soft boy, TM. And I say just, but there's no just about it. He was a very enticing love interest. I just wish that he had a little bit more personality. I wish that they all had. But there you go, you guys. Those are my thoughts on Winter Witch. Have you read it? Probably not. This was another one that came up on my overdrive for borrow now, so I just grabbed it right away, and I'm happy I did. I still have some memories of it. They've mostly folded away into fond memories of it. Not so much that I'd reread it, but it was, for a romance, something I don't really read. I got all the way through it. We'll just say that. I did read all the way through, and most romance, I'm not able to do that. I end up DNFing it, so that is saying something for this book. So if you like the Welsh setting, you like animals, you like hearing about a character's day-to-day life in great detail, then maybe check out Winter Witch. Otherwise, if you liked what you saw here and you want more of it, my channel is chock full of reviews as well as lots of other stuff, so go find your way around, check all of that stuff out. I also post brand new videos Mondays and Fridays, so keep an eye out for those. If you want to see exclusive content that's not here on the channel, you can support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month to get all kinds of content that is not seen here. All the links to my social media are down in the doobly-doo, and I will see you guys again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Hello, my lovelies. 'Tis time again for our shout-outs. We are shouting out Lennox, Amanda, Irene, Jenny, Kim, Lisa, Sabby Panda, Sam, Sarah, Savvy, and Scribbling Cat. Thanks again, you all, for all of your awesome help. You guys are the best. And we also have a brand new patron to introduce. Their name is Baruch, I think is how you pronounce it. I have a message out to them to make sure that I am pronouncing it correctly, and also to see if they have any websites or blogs or channels they would like me to link. So keep an eye out for that in upcoming videos. And welcome to our newest patron.